Alright, fellas, imagine this. You reach into your pocket, pull out some spare change, and bam, you're holding a quarter worth $2.4 million. No, this isn't a dream, and no, I haven't lost my mind yet. Today, we're talking about the 1999 New Jersey quarter, a coin so rare and valuable that it could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and still leave you enough for a lifetime supply of coffee. So grab your old coin jars, empty out that couch, and let's see if you've been sitting on a fortune all this time. Now, let's rewind to 1999, the year when the U.S. Mint started rolling out the 50-state quarters program. This was a huge deal because for the first time ever, every U.S. state got its own quarter. And guess which one we're talking about today? That's right, New Jersey, the Garden State. This quarter was minted in Denver, D-Mint mark, and features a design that pays tribute to George Washington's famous crossing of the Delaware River in 1776. On the back, you see Washington leading his troops into battle, a moment that literally changed American history. Millions of these quarters were made, so why is this particular one worth a fortune? Well, that's where the magic of errors, rarity, and condition come into play. So, what makes this one quarter so incredibly valuable? The $2.4 million quarter has some rare die mistakes that make it stand out. Look for double striking, misalignment, or a missing clad layer. These errors make it unique and highly desirable to collectors. If your quarter has been tossed around in a vending machine for years, it's probably not worth much. But if it's in MS-68 or higher condition, mint state, near perfect, now you're talking serious cash. While millions were minted, very few have survived in pristine condition, and even fewer have the specific rare errors that make them valuable. Look for the D-Mint mark just below. In God we trust. Examine the reverse side. If you notice doubling, off-center strikes, or missing details, you may have a rare variety. Use a magnifying glass to inspect any fine details that could indicate an error. If your quarter checks out, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified, high-grade, error coin is what brings in the big bucks. You're probably wondering, has anyone actually sold one of these for millions? Oh, you bet. Recently, a collector scored $2.4 million at an auction for a 1999 New Jersey quarter with a major minting error in near-perfect condition. Imagine spending 25 cents and getting back enough to retire comfortably. Talk about a return on investment. Even if you don't find this exact quarter, don't lose hope. 2004 Wisconsin quarter, extra leaf error, worth up to $30. 0001970 Washington quarter, proof coin with Canadian backing, worth over $35. 0001983 Washington quarter, rare mint condition, worth $1,600 plus. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. So guys, the next time you get a quarter in your hand, don't just toss it in a parking meter. Give it a good look. You might be holding something worth millions. If you think you've found a rare one, get it checked by a professional grader before selling. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more coin treasure hunts. Drop a comment below if you think you might have a rare quarter. I'd love to hear your stories. Now go check your pockets. Who knows? You might be the next big coin millionaire. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, where we talk about coins worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your retirement savings. Today, we're diving into a coin that has collectors buzzing, the 2001 Kentucky quarter. Believe it or not, one of these little gems sold for an eye-popping $2.5 million. That's right, a quarter. 25 cents. Worth more than a mansion. But what makes this Kentucky quarter so special? Is there a hidden secret in your pocket change? And how can you cash in? Stick around. because we're going to break it all down. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be rating your coin jars like a pirate looking for buried treasure. Let me tell you a quick story. A guy, let's call him Bob, was cleaning out his late grandfather's old coin collection. He wasn't a collector himself, just trying to see if anything had value. As he sifted through hundreds of quarters, he came across a 2001 Kentucky quarter. Something about it looked different. So, he took it to a professional. And guess what? That little coin changed his life. When it hit the auction block, collectors went wild, and it ended up selling for a mind-blowing $2.50 million. Now, imagine if Bob had just spent that quarter on a soda. Makes you think twice before handing over change, doesn't it? Alright, let's back up a bit. The Kentucky quarter was part of the U.S. Mint State Quarters program, released in 2001 to celebrate Kentucky's rich history. It features a proud racehorse in front of a classic Kentucky mansion, paying tribute to the state's legendary horse racing tradition. This quarter was minted in both Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, but it's the Denver minted version we're talking about today. So what makes some of these quarters worth just 25 cents and others worth millions? Here's where things get really interesting. There are a few key factors that determine whether your Kentucky quarter is worth pocket change or life-changing money. Some of these rare Kentucky quarters have errors like double strikes, off-center prints, or missing details. If you've got one with a serious minting mistake, you could be looking at big bucks. Coin collectors are obsessed with condition. If your 2001 Kentucky quarter has never been in circulation and has been preserved in perfect, flawless condition, it can fetch insane prices. Some quarters were struck on the wrong planchet or have weird metal compositions. These ultra-rare variations are what send collectors into a bidding frenzy. Alright, now that you're probably scrambling to dig through your spare change, here's how to check if you've got a fortune sitting in your pocket. Make sure it's a 2001 Denver Mint. The D will be on the right side under. In God we trust. Use a magnifying glass and check for doubling, misalignment, or missing details. If it looks brand new and has zero wear, you may have a valuable piece. A standard quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, you might have a rare minting error. So, what do you do if you think you have a rare Kentucky quarter? A reputable dealer can give you an expert opinion. Big money collectors love rare coins at auctions. Places like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers are great options. eBay, PCGS, and NGC forums are packed with coin enthusiasts ready to buy. The incredible story of a quarter worth $2.5 million. This just goes to show that treasure hunting isn't just for pirates. Check your pockets, your coin jars, and maybe even that old stash of change in your glove compartment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we have plenty more hidden treasure stories coming your way. And remember, the next time you get a quarter in your change, take a second look. You never know, you might just be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine this, you're sifting through some spare change, maybe grabbing a handful of quarters to feed a parking meter, and boom! You've got a coin that could be worth more than a mansion. That's right, today we're talking about a 2003 Maine quarter that's worth a jaw-dropping $2.6 million. This is no fairy tale. It's real, and you could be holding one right now without even knowing it. Come on, how does a simple quarter go from 25 cents to life-changing money? Well, stick with me, and I'll break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and some wild stories of lucky folks who hit the jackpot with their spare change. So grab your coin jar, sit back, and let's dive in. The story behind the 2003 Maine quarterback. In 2003, the U.S. Mint released the Maine quarter as part of the state quarters program. Now, for most people, this was just another cool design in their pocket. But for collectors, it was a treasure hunt waiting to happen. The design features the iconic Pemaquid Point Lighthouse, a ship sailing in the distance, and the rugged coastline of Maine, a real beauty in the world of quarters. But here's where things get crazy. Some of these quarters came out with an error that skyrocketed their value to $2.60 million. Not all 2003p Maine quarters are created equal. The rarest and most valuable ones have a striking error, a double die obverse and reverse misalignment. That means the design was stamped incorrectly, creating a visual doubling effect. This happened when the die, the tool that stamps the image, shifted slightly during the minting process. Collectors go nuts over these errors because they're one-of-a-kind mistakes. And when a coin has a clear, visible, and significant error that's confirmed by grading experts, the price skyrockets. The highest graded versions of this Maine quarter with this exact error have fetched up to $2.6 million in auctions. So now you're probably eyeballing every quarter you've got in your pocket. Look for the 2003 date and a P, mint mark, Philadelphia Mint. Examine the details on the front and back closely. If you notice any doubling, especially in the text, United States of America, or the lighthouse, that could be a sign you have something special. Some of these rare quarters also have an off-center strike, meaning the design isn't perfectly aligned. The error can be subtle, so you might need to get a close-up look. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity. It or not, there have been a few lucky individuals who found one of these rare Maine quarters in everyday change. One man from Pennsylvania found one while sorting through a roll of quarters he got from the bank. He sent it for grading, and when it came back certified, he ended up selling it at auction for a cool $2.60 million. Another collector in Florida had been holding onto one for years, not realizing its worth. When he finally got it appraised, he nearly fell out of his chair when he heard the estimated value. Imagine sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Where to search for these rare coins now? If you're itching to go on a treasure hunt, here are the best places to check. Check your pockets, couch cushions, and that old jar of coins. Banks often have rolls of quarters that haven't been searched by collectors yet. Sometimes, people sell old coin collections without knowing what they have. While you have to be cautious of fakes, eBay and other auction sites sometimes have rare finds. Other valuable quarters to look for: if you don't find a 2003p Maine quarter, don't be discouraged. There are plenty of other rare quarters out there that could still be worth a small fortune, like the 1978D quarter worth $3 million, or the 1994p quarter that's valued at $3.6 million. Keep an eye out because you never know when you might strike gold. The 2003p Maine quarter that could turn your pocket change into a payday of $2.6 million. The big question now is, do you have one? If you do, don't let it slip through your fingers. Get it checked, get it graded, and who knows? You might be the next lucky person cashing in on a fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Who knows, maybe your story will be the next one we talk about. Alright, fellas, let's talk about quarters today, but not just any quarter. I'm talking about a 2000D New Hampshire quarter that's worth $2.7 million. That's right, a single pocket change coin could be worth more than a Ferrari, a beach house, or even your entire retirement fund. Imagine buying a soda with this coin, and years later, realizing you practically gave away a fortune. Painful, right? Well, today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this coin is so valuable, how you can find one, and what makes it special. So, if you've got a jar of old quarters sitting around, it's time to start digging. Now, let me tell you something funny. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, has been collecting coins since the 80s. One day, we're having coffee, and he tells me, "You won't believe what I almost spent on a parking meter." I lean in, and he pulls out this shiny 2000D New Hampshire quarter. Turns out, he was about to drop $2.7 million into a 50-cent parking meter. Can you imagine the poor guy who would have found that later? He'd probably buy the whole parking lot. Moral of the story? Check your coins before you spend them. Now, let's get into the history. The New Hampshire quarter was part of the 50-state quarters program, released by the U.S. Mint between 1999 and 2008. The 2000D version was struck at the Denver Mint and features the famous Old Man of the Mountain, a rock formation that, sadly, collapsed in 2003. The coin also has the state motto, "Live free or die." It was a big hit with collectors, but little did anyone know that a handful of these coins had something very special, something that would make them worth millions. Alright, let's get into the good stuff. Why is this coin worth a jaw-dropping $2.7 million? It all comes down to minting errors, rarity, and demand. Some of these coins were struck on experimental planchets. That means they were printed on the wrong type of metal, making them ultra-rare. A few have visible doubling on the inscriptions, meaning the letters or design look slightly shadowed or doubled. This is a huge deal for collectors. The record-breaking quarter was graded MS68, which means it was in near-perfect condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable it is. People love rare state quarters, and when an ultra-rare one pops up, bidding wars drive the price sky high. Now, I know some of you are already running to your coin stash, so let me help you check for a fortune. Check the date and mint mark. It should say 2000D under the word Liberty. Look for doubling, inspect New Hampshire, and Live free or die for any doubling. If it looks slightly different in color or texture from a regular quarter, it might be a special experimental planchet. Small errors can be hard to see with the naked eye. A normal quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, it could be an error coin. Let's say you hit the jackpot and find one. Now what? But be careful of scams and lowball offers. A good place for quick sales, but you may not get the highest price. If you don't find this one, don't worry. There are plenty of other valuable quarters out there. Here are a few. 1978 D Washington quarter worth $3 million. 1996 P Washington quarter worth $3.30 million. So, even if you don't have the 2000D New Hampshire jackpot, keep looking. You might have another hidden treasure. Alright guys, the bottom line? Check your change. That old jar of coins in your kitchen could be worth millions. If you find a 2000D New Hampshire quarter, get it checked immediately. Don't be like my buddy Dave and almost toss away your retirement fund on a parking meter. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy coin discoveries, and tell me in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I'll see you next time, and happy hunting. Alright, fellas, today we're talking about a 2000D Maryland quarter that could be sitting in your pocket, worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right, one little quarter could buy you a luxury car, a dream vacation, or even set you up for early retirement. Now, imagine this. You're at a gas station, you toss a quarter into the coin slot for air, and later find out you just gave away nearly $2 million. That kind of regret would keep you up at night. But don't worry, I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Stick with me, and I'll tell you why this quarter is so valuable, how you can find one, and what makes it so special. If you've got a jar of old coins lying around, it's time to start digging because your fortune could be hiding in plain sight. Now, let me tell you a quick story. My buddy, let's call him Joe, used to think coin collecting was just a hobby for grandpas. One day, he's cleaning out his old change jar and comes across a 2000 Maryland quarter. He almost spins it, but something tells him to check it out first. He hops online, and guess what? It's one of the rarest Maryland quarters in existence. He sends it in for grading, and bam, it's worth a life-changing amount. That man went from thinking coins were just pocket change to cashing in on a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Now, let's talk history. The Maryland quarter was released in 2000 as part of the 50-state quarters program by the U.S. Mint. It features the Maryland State House Dome, the oldest working state house in America, and the nickname, the Old Line State. The 2000 version was minted in Denver, but here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins were struck with major errors, making them insanely valuable to collectors. So, why would someone pay $1.7 million for a single quarter? Some of these coins were struck on experimental planchets, meaning they were accidentally printed on a different metal composition. This makes them extremely rare. If your quarter has doubling on the letters, especially in Maryland or the Old Line State, you could be holding a fortune. Coins that were struck slightly off-center or have misprinted designs are highly desirable. The record-breaking quarter was in MS-68 condition, which means it's practically flawless. The closer your coin is to this grade, the higher the value. Maryland quarters are already popular among collectors, so when a rare version appears, people are willing to pay top dollar. Alright, so you're probably reaching for your coin stash right now. It should say 2000 below the word Liberty. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the words Maryland and the Old Line State. A standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, you might have an error coin. If the edges look smoother or have a different color tone, it could be a planchet error. Some error coins were struck on foreign metals and may have slight magnetic properties. So, let's say you hit the jackpot and find one. Where do you sell it? Be careful of scammers, but you can still get good money here. Great for quick sales, but they might not give you top dollar. Even if you don't find this specific Maryland quarter, there are plenty of others worth serious money. 1978 D Washington quarter worth $3 million. 1996 P Washington quarter worth $3.30 million. 2004 P Texas quarter worth $2.30 million. 2016 P Ford Moultrie quarter worth $1.80 million. 2006 D South Carolina quarter worth $1.90 million. So, don't get discouraged. There are hidden treasures out there just waiting to be found. Alright guys, what's the takeaway here? Check your change. That old jar of coins could be worth a fortune. If you find a 2000 Maryland quarter, get it checked ASAP. You could be sitting on $1.70 million. Don't be like my buddy Joe, who almost spent his fortune on a bag of chips. Be smart, do your research, and you might just find your golden ticket. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy coin discoveries, and drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I'll see you next time, and happy hunting. Alright guys, let's talk about something that might just blow your mind. A 2014 P quarter that's worth an incredible $1.8 million. That's right, this isn't just any ordinary coin. This is the kind of find that can change your life overnight. Now imagine this, you're grabbing a coffee, you get a handful of change back, and you almost toss it into the tip jar. But wait! What if one of those quarters is the legendary 2014 P worth nearly $2 million? You'd never forgive yourself, right? Well, stick with me because I'm going to tell you exactly why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can cash in if you find one. Let me tell you a quick story. My buddy, let's call him Mike, was cleaning out his car one day when he found an old quarter under the seat. He was about to toss it into a vending machine when something told him to check it out first. Turns out, it was a rare 2014 error coin, and after getting it graded, it sold for life-changing money. Now, he's out there checking every single coin he comes across. Always check your change, because you never know what treasure you might be sitting on. The 2014 quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that honored national parks and historic sites across the U.S. The Philadelphia Mint, hence the P Mint mark, produced these coins, and while most were just regular quarters, a select few had special minting errors that made them worth a fortune. So, what makes this particular quarter so valuable? Some 2014 quarters were struck on experimental planchets, meaning they were printed on the wrong type of metal. These are insanely rare and highly valuable. If your quarter has doubling on the letters or design, especially around United States of America or E pluribus unum, you might have a winner. Coins that were struck off center or have a misaligned die are extremely sought after. The most valuable 2014 quarter was found in MS69 condition, which means it was nearly flawless. The better the condition, the higher the price. Coin collectors love error coins, and when a rare one like this pops up, bidding wars can drive the price into the millions. Alright, so how do you know if you've got one of these million-dollar coins in your pocket? Look for the year 2014 with a P. Mintmark.L. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the lettering, images, and edges. A standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it might be an error coin. Some rare error coins were struck on foreign metals and may have slight magnetic properties. If you think you have a rare find, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. A high-graded error coin could be your ticket to the big leagues. So, let's say you've hit the jackpot. Where do you sell your $1.8 million quarter? LL, the best place for million-dollar coins. Be cautious of scams, but still a good option. Great for networking, but you might not get the highest value. Even if you don't find this exact 2014 quarter, don't worry. There are plenty of other valuable quarters out there. So, don't stop searching. There's treasure out there, and it might just be in your pocket. Alright guys, what's the big takeaway today? Check your quarters. That spare change in your car, your old coin jar, or the quarters you get in change could be worth a fortune. If you find a 2014 quarter, don't just spend it, get it checked. You could be holding on to $1.8 million without even knowing it. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries, and drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found?